American victory at sea is inevitable.
At first light, the Caribbean looked calm enough to ignore. Flat water, clean horizon. The kind of morning naval crews recognize as deceptively quiet. Then the radar picture changed. Just after 4 in the morning, 3 fast-moving contacts appeared on the outer edge of the carrier strike group's surface plot. Their speed stood out immediately, closing fast, well above what routine patrol traffic would require. Within moments, the tracks resolved into Venezuelan patrol vessels accelerating out of the darkness and cutting across the projected path of the formation. This was not observation, it was interception. As the range collapsed, their intent became unmistakable. The 3 ships aligned themselves directly ahead of the strike group's course, shaping a moving barrier of steel and wake, a maneuver designed to force hesitation, to compel a turn, to signal that a line had been drawn in waters that international law does not recognize as anyone's territory. Inside the USS George Washington, alarms broke the pre-dawn stillness. Radar operators called out distances tightening toward 12 nautical miles. For a ship of that size, that range matters. Reaction windows shrink, maneuver options narrow, and every decision carries strategic weight. Yet the carrier did not slow. It did not alter course. The strike group held steady, pushing forward at a measured pace, sending a message that required no words. Freedom of navigation was not up for negotiation. What followed was not chaos, it was choreography. The Venezuelan vessels surged ahead in tight formation, their bows angled precisely into the corridor the carrier would naturally occupy. Their wake lines were clean, their spacing deliberate. This was rehearsed, a calculated attempt to impose pressure without firing a shot. On the American bridge, tension rose, but discipline held. Sailors moved with purpose, not panic. Communications flowed. Escorts tightened their formation around the carrier, adjusting positions not to escalate, but to control space. An interception inside 12 nautical miles is never casual. It is the threshold where accidents become incidents, and incidents become headlines. The Venezuelan ships knew this. That was the point. As the distance continued to shrink, the geometry sharpened. The patrol vessels were no longer merely crossing ahead. They were shaping angles that could force a last-second decision, a turn that would be interpreted as concession, a slowdown that would be framed as compliance. And then, without drama, the United States responded. From the starboard side of the formation, the USS Gravely began to move. The destroyer did not sprint, it did not lunge. Instead, it adjusted course with deliberate precision, sliding into the intercept line between the carrier and the approaching vessels. In open water, position matters more than speed. And by placing itself exactly where the confrontation would unfold, the Gravely seized control of the encounter. This was not aggression, it was geometry. The destroyer's bow angled toward the incoming formation, presenting a presence that forced a choice. Alter course, slow down, or continue forward and reveal intent beyond signaling. Above the surface, another element joined the scene. Rotor blades spun up on the flight deck, and an MH-60R Seahawk lifted cleanly into the morning air. It did not race ahead. It did not dip low over decks. It established a steady orbit, visible, unmistakable, its sensors quietly watching everything below. From a distance, the message was clear. The strike group saw the maneuver, it understood it, and it was prepared. On board the Gravely, watch teams tracked every shift in bearing. The destroyer now acted as a soft barrier, a tactic long used to strip ambiguity from close encounters. When a warship occupies the contested space, the approaching vessel's next move speaks louder than any broadcast. For a moment, there was expectation. The Venezuelan ships might slow, they might widen their spacing, they might peel away to signal that the message had been received. They did not. Instead, they held speed. Their wakes stretched long and bright behind them as they continued closing, maintaining momentum well beyond what shadowing or patrol would require. The refusal to yield introduced a sharper edge to the encounter. The Gravely had offered clarity. Venezuela chose pressure. From above, the Seahawk recorded every adjustment, streaming imagery back to the strike group. From the sea, the destroyer advanced with unwavering steadiness. The American formation did not broadcast threats. It did not rush. It simply occupied space with intent. Then, another signal emerged. The Gravely's main gun, previously resting forward in a neutral posture, began to rotate, slowly, deliberately. It did not lock onto a target. It did not snap into firing alignment. It eased into a position that every Navy on Earth understands: readiness. Around the ship, other systems shifted quietly. Sensors transitioned into focused tracking modes. Defensive systems listened rather than spoke. The Aegis radar maintained its wide area picture without the aggressive emissions that could be misread as preparation to fire. This was restraint, practiced and intentional. The Seahawk widened its orbit, maintaining visibility without menace. From the air, it was less a threat than a sentinel, a reminder that nothing in this space was unseen. The United States was not escalating, it was documenting. Despite the signals written into every movement of the American formation, the Venezuelan vessels pressed closer. The range fell to 4 nautical miles. At sea, that distance is intimate. It leaves no margin for miscalculation. Every knot of speed, every degree of heading matters. Still, the American ships did not move. The first radio transmission came from the USS Gravely, carried calmly across an open maritime frequency. The wording was standardized, familiar. It stated position. It affirmed lawful transit. It reminded all vessels in the area of their obligation to operate safely in international waters. The choice of channel mattered. This was not a private military exchange. It was public, transparent. Anyone listening could hear the United States state its case clearly. Venezuela did not reply by voice. Instead, flags rose on the lead patrol vessel. A sequence of maritime signals fluttered in the wind, asserting a claim not recognized beyond Caracas. Symbolic defiance, political theater carried out in fabric and color rather than sound. Through binoculars, American sailors watched the flag snap against the sky. The meaning was unmistakable. Venezuela was attempting to redefine space through posture rather than law. Neither side altered course. The carrier continued forward, steady as a metronome. The destroyer held its intercept line. The helicopter circled overhead, and the sea fell into an eerie silence. For long moments, nothing happened. Engines roared beneath hulls. Wakes carved white scars across blue water. Sensors tracked heat, speed, and angle with clinical precision. But no words followed, no new signals. Just 2 formations approaching the edge of consequence. This was not indecision, it was will. Deep inside the Gravely, software mapped engine signatures from the patrol vessels. The data told a simple story. The Venezuelan ships were still running hard. Speeds remained above 20 knots. This was not caution, it was pressure. From above, the Seahawk confirmed it visually. No reduction in throttle, no widening of formation, no sign of retreat. For nearly 3 minutes, the encounter balanced on a knife's edge. Silence stretched. Every sailor understood how easily a single misjudgment could ignite something far larger. Then, the change came. It was subtle, but unmistakable. Sensors registered a reduction in speed from the lead Venezuelan vessel. Not dramatic, just enough to register. The other 2 ships followed, easing off their throttles in near unison. Their wakes softened. The tight geometry loosened. This was not withdrawal, but it was de-escalation. From the American bridge, the shift was noted instantly. The pressure that had built so tightly began to bleed away. The patrol vessels were still close, still present. But the momentum had changed. In confrontations at sea, speed is often the first truth revealed. And here, speed was telling the story. The Venezuelan formation began to drift off the intercept line, angling east-southeast, opening space that had been aggressively denied minutes earlier. It was a controlled move, a retreat designed to save face. On the American side, nothing changed. The USS George Washington did not acknowledge the shift. It did not alter heading. It did not slow. The carrier continued forward as if nothing had happened. The Gravely mirrored that discipline. Weapons remained angled but inactive. Sensors continued tracking. The Seahawk stayed aloft, recording the separation as it unfolded. From altitude, the difference was obvious. Where moments earlier, the Venezuelan wakes had cut sharply toward the carrier's bow, they now curved away, long trails stretching behind hulls, no longer pressing the line. The standoff was over, not with a signal, not with a shot, but with a decision made in silence. Venezuela had pushed hard into international waters, testing resolve, posture, and reaction. The United States had answered without aggression, without concession, and without uncertainty. Presence had done the work. As the patrol vessels faded toward the horizon, one reality settled over the sea. The carrier strike group had not yielded an inch, not a degree of heading, not a knot of speed. For the crews involved, this was not drama, it was doctrine. This is how maritime power is exercised: calm, predictable, unyielding. The ship that moves first concedes more than space, it concedes narrative. That morning, the United States did not move, and Venezuela did. Standing on that bridge at dawn, watching 3 fast patrol ships drive straight toward your bow, the decision is never theoretical. Hold course, and you accept risk. Turn away, and you set precedent. The line held, and the message traveled far beyond the Caribbean. What you've just seen wasn't an accident, it was a calculated test of resolve in international waters. So what's your view on these kinds of political pressure tactics at sea? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this analysis useful, give the video a like and subscribe to Military Grid. We focus on the signals that matter, so you don't have to sort through the noise. Thanks for watching.